goes, and it's always hard to tell anything about the maps. Spoken about maps, it's going to again be a desert like Arabia, so most likely a bit more unfriendly. Let's get started on GoKu, as he has reasonable woodlines in my opinion, has one in the back with the oasis, finding a sheep nicely in time. His main goal is a bit to the north, but isn't the end of the world, as Fire will most likely start his assault from the left side, but obviously in the long run, if Fire scouts correctly, he might be able to put a lot of pressure on the gold. And if we look at Goku's additional goals, they are both very towards Fire, so that might become a struggle in the long run. And yeah, small note, both players use their Re, so there's no Re left for this best of 5. So now, continuing to Fire's map, who's already pushing his deer right now, we can see again a really bad woodline in the back. He has reasonable woodlines in the front, however, and they're joined is his gold and his second gold. So Fire again might struggle for wood in the long run, and his gold is quite forward as well, not having the main gold in the back this time. So risky time, especially being on the bottom of the hill, he might have a hard time defending it. And let me check, where is his third gold actually? I thought I spotted it, but that appears to be to the right. Ah, there it is. Wow, and again, Fire having the randomly spread 6 barrels of gold very close to him. There's one in the south and one in the north, so again, really easy access to gold in the long run for Fire if he claims map control as good as he did in game 2. Whereas for Goku, there's nothing really to be seen like it. So that might become very important. And as I mentioned earlier, I will take a look at the stone as well in the Mongol walls, as I think that might be very important, especially as we're going to see a 3-hour match, considering Nicky's honorable mention earlier. We see the Stone of Fire being to the south a bit more. He should have a reasonable easy time getting it in the late game as soon as he expands a little bit, but in the beginning it might be a bit of a struggle. Meanwhile for Goku, there's one stone pretty close. The other stone is to the north of his main gold. Wouldn't be too surprised to see anything like a TC going up there.
You know, Goku trying to push deer also, those 3 at the top, failing on that one. But if you also look to the right of his, by those cliffs, there's 6 deer there. And with the manga bonus, it might be worth it to put a mill down.
Yeah, indeed. But you obviously need to do it in time. You need to scout it in time. It's a bit risky because with the scouts, your villages on the deer can be found quite easily. Get picked off quite easy as it's quite far away. And now Fire is going to help Goku push his deer. What a nice guy. So pretty equal for both players right now. Goku continuing to push the deer. Wouldn't be surprised to see Fire be a bit annoying. Fire forced to take Loom already, or maybe rather choosing to, as he has plenty of food banked up. Or is he really going to try for an extremely early uptime? No, he's making new villager right now, so he just got a Loom in time. I would be surprised to see him actually going up at 18. I would doubt it was actually possible, as he pushed in 1 deer, if I am not mistaken. But for now, he's indeed going up at 19 pop rather. Both players following quite the usual scout build, Fire being up quite in time. And Goku now adding the second lumber camp. And up as well, 1 villager later, both players having Loom. Quite a smart idea. Goku continuing to push into there. And from here on, as we kind of expected beforehand, it will be scouts for both players. We saw a lot of scouts in game 1 as well. We've seen Fire do a really good job being a bit longer on the scouts. I wonder how it's going to be this time.
Oh, I think for Fire, he has the disadvantage of his second lumber camp. They're both very far away from each other. So it's a lot harder for him to defend, where Goku, it's all on one wood line. So while if he loses it, he loses his whole wood economy, it's also a lot easier to defend.
Yeah, indeed. I can certainly see Goku adding some spears in there just to be sure. And spoken about Goku, I see him building the barracks in that position. I figured he wouldn't know. Well, obviously it's nice to have the barracks there to see any scouts coming for your wood line. But knowing Fire is on the left side of the map, he didn't scout him so far, but it seems like he will be finding his main goal, so he should know where Fire will be. And there we have the stable for Fire. What a surprise. Same thing can be said for Goku. So, indeed, both players going for the scouts. Goku being a bit earlier. Might give him one scout a bit earlier. Not sure if it's going to make that much of a difference, as obviously there's quite a big of a traveling time in between the players. But for now, yeah, as you mentioned, I think it's going to be the hardest for Fire. I can see Goku like putting 2 spears at his wood line and being quite fine. Especially if he's going to wall a bit more towards his DC as he seems to be doing. But Fire is going to have a hard time. He can maybe wall the cliff at the wood line, but then the scouts still will have an easy time to get in.
And Fire going to wall on that right side there a little to make it a little safer, which is smart, I think.
Yeah, indeed. So a bit further than I had in mind, but obviously it's going to help out just as well. Also, walling in the south is going to create quite a choke point again, but the choke point is at his gold.
Yeah.
So, still risky.
And Goku bringing a forward spear.
Yeah, we've seen Fire actually doing that in game 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I really like the idea of bringing one spear forward because it can drag the aggro of the other spear. And from there on, the scouts will do the damage to get a spear out. And obviously, as your opponent will be fighting with scouts as well, the spear is going to help out quite a bit. Nice micro by Goku there, but still, obviously, the spear is going to do quite a bit of damage. Goku's spear unable to really fight back. And Goku is actually the one being ahead in military right now, but I wonder if that's mainly due to the spears. Yes, he's 1 spear right now. I think we have 1 spear for Fire as well. So even though Fire got up first, he will be the one with less scouts at this stage.
Yep.
Now I'm curious whether he was unable to produce scouts at one point, or whether it was just a bit of idle time. It is idle right now, but we see the first villager moving to gold, so maybe they will transition into archers. Maybe they will just be looking for an FC build from here on, as Fire has been walling himself in pretty much.
And Goku's walled by the berries a little, kind of creating a choke point at his TC there.
Yeah, indeed, but his gold still a bit awkward.
And the archer range going down now for Goku.
Yeah, indeed. It's almost like a hunts game, it seems like the players will be going scouts, transitioning into archers, but then in the castle age we're more likely to see a knights or exposed rather than CA. As both players will be off castle age for quite a while. Scouts obviously are very food intensive. Fire seems to be a bit more yeah, how do you say it, greedy on the amount of scouts he's making. He's like, hey, I got the walls, I will try and apply the pressure from down. I do not want to invest too much food in the scouts, and maybe make sure he gets up to castle age a bit earlier.
Yeah, I think Fire definitely is collecting resources, and he made the blacksmith instead of the archer range. Maybe looking more go up to castle right there. Whereas Goku's putting down a second archer range, which we saw this last game where Fire went castle first, and it worked out really well for him.
Yeah, indeed, he did a great job, but obviously with the Britons exposed, it's a little bit of a different story, but it's still a huge difference. As obviously getting castle age is quite important, and this time Goku is spending less on the food aggression as well. As if he learned from the last game, he's getting close to castle age as well, but Fire obviously has the advantage here, hitting it first. But I don't think it will be as disastrous as last game.
Yeah, no, it looks like maybe he'll be a minute later at the most. Not too bad.
Yeah, indeed. And from there on, Fire might have a small frame of time where he's able to deal some damage, but I'm not going to put too much faith in it for now. Fire adding a second stable, so Fire might be going for the Knight, getting skill barding armor as well. He doesn't have bloodlines yet though.
He's just made it. We're making it.
There we have it. And that's going to be interesting, the Knights versus the Archers.
Yeah, it will be. We'll see. It'll be more, can Goku mass enough to take out the Knights?
Yeah, indeed. And obviously getting the right spot is very important. If you can get them choked up in the wood line, they're going to fight more efficient than when standing at the bottom of a hill, obviously.
But also, we look at how much they walled. Fire walled a large amount where you can put lots of farms down, a couple of wood lines, where Goku is kind of like in a little circle.
Yeah, Goku isn't creating a lot of space for himself. He's making his main goal quite safe, which I feel like will be very important. But from here on, indeed, as you mentioned, it's going to be very important for Goku to keep his X-Bows masked up. From there on, I wonder, will Fire again? As we've seen in Game 1 and 2, Fire has been very aggressive, has been doing a lot of raiding. Goku, with the less mobile X-Bows, and next to that also needing to group him to actually get a good fight, might have a tough time getting on the offensive position once again, where he might be forced into such a defensive position, which have been really strangling from Fire in games 1 and 2.
And here come the Knights, and Crossbow still not done.
Yeah, and there's second TC up for Fire as well. Fire has +1 defense, as we saw him getting skill by armor, but now Goku also adding some camels. I really like to see the decision, and that obviously is the risk of going with the Knights in the Mongol mirror.
We also look Fire adding 2 TCs right now. Goku just adding 2 also.
Yeah, indeed, and on the main gold, as we kind of hope to see, and on his wood line.
I think we're in for a longer game.
Oh wow, a Mongol war that will take on longer? When I'm casting? Never had that one before. And the Siege Workshop being added for Fire as well, at his base to defend a bit more. Isn't going to do great versus the Camels, but obviously will be a huge defense versus the Archers coming in. So now we have Goku trying to be the offender right now, and I wonder once again, will it pay off? The wood line is forward.
Well, I think the big thing here is his gold is forward, and if he loses his gold, he can't, produce Knights, whereas his wooded and farms are all protected by TCs, but now he has a Mangonel out. Hopefully that could protect them.
Yeah, obviously Goku has this hill over here that might help quite a bit. But Goku really being high on the military, but it's also going to be very important to master those X-Bows a bit more, and the Mangonel can be a big game changer right here. But Fire needs to be very careful around those camels, especially fighting up the hill versus down with the X-Bows behind it. It's just going to shred those Knights, but it's going to be very important to keep the gold. And this is why I was a little surprised to see the town center going up at the back, rather than at Fire's forward gold.
Yeah. And a forward Siege Workshop now from Goku. Hopefully I have a little more luck this time with forward villagers.
Oh, please do not run into the Knights. Where would it go up? Oh, I was already in Goku's point of view. What am I doing? Ah, there we have it. It's a bit further away. He cancels it. It's going to be a bit less greedy this time. It might pay off.
I think that hill right there in front of Fire's base, where all that gold's on there, that's going to be the main fighting ground.
Yeah, Goku really wants to be applying pressure over there. But you know what is so awkward for Fire right now? I feel like Goku has a stronger army composition. Having the camels, having the archers, it is very costly for Fire to now swap to archers to deal with the camels. And he cannot get his own camels out because the archers will just shred them. So he's a bit of an awkward sport and cannot really fight. He's very behind on the military. Obviously the X-Bow 1-on-1 is a bit weaker than the Knight. But still, with this 16 more military for him, it's going to be very interesting. how Fire is going to play it from here on. He once again has the villager lead though, as he got his TCs up earlier, but both players on 3 TCs right now. GoKu seems to be the offender.
Fire putting up a 4th TC actually in the back now, just as you say that.
Ah, he just had to prove me wrong, didn't he? And University going up for GoKu as well. I don't think Fire will be getting one anytime soon. As far as I know, Knights do not need the ballistics.
No.
And here we see Fire trying to get some raiding done, because as we mentioned earlier, will GoKu be able to both defend and go aggressive with the expos? Because that is the bad thing about Goku's composition, but as he has such a strong front right here, as long as he isn't going to lose his push power, that is in my opinion, as soon as he loses his siege, he will just be stranding. But for now he seems to be doing a good job. Now Monk being out there as well, but even if he converts the camel he's going to struggle. But in the meanwhile we see Fire doing an awful lot of raiding here. There's only one camel to defend, and obviously the town centers, but the real question is who's going to do more damage, especially with Fire's, all of his gold is so forward. He needs to defend this. He cannot continue production. He can swap to scouts or skirmishes, but that isn't going to work at this point.
But right now, Fire's up a lot of villagers.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any gold income. Except for one relic, I believe. No, never mind. It's just a monk sitting in there.
Maybe, oh look what he's doing. He's gonna go outside on the left side there and get that gold.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea. Goku might want to check it. Let me check if he scouted that gold. Oh, he just doesn't know it's there. It's in a small piece of the unexplored darkness.
Oh, but look, a large amount of knights in those stables there, where they're going down. Yep, taking them out.
Yeah, but still needs to be careful as the composition of Goku is so strong at this point.
Castle coming up with Fire in his base there.
Yeah, but not really defending the gold. I'm not saying he should have put it somewhere else, because obviously as soon as he will be pushing for the gold, he would risk losing the villages doing so. And also might be unable to get a castle up, but just trying to do as much damage to Goku as possible, and he's doing a good job as Goku is 30 villages behind. But surviving without gold is hard, but he has the gold in the south as you mentioned earlier, and it might help him out an awful lot. Because that is really Fire's only concern, because Goku isn't doing an awful lot of damage, he's just denying gold.
Yeah.
But with that unit composition he has, well, he's also taking out the stables, but I can see TyRanT. Wow, do we see Fire actually going for Goku's gold over here?
Oh yeah. Or maybe for a forward of some sort?
Something like it, but we also see Fire trying to get another castle up a bit closer to the main gold.
Yeah. Oh,
But forced to cancel it.
Oh, he's building it, yep, by Goku's gold.
Oh wow, so he's actually trying to secure that gold.
I actually like that. It's right on that hill there, defends that side and that gold.
And yeah, he has the knights, which are very mobile, so he should be able to respond to any ramps coming up. I mean, he will just send the knights, they will deal with it. Camels will just die underneath the castle, same for Expos. It's a good thing to stop Goku from pushing a little bit in his base, and also will keep the gold safe. Just lovely how it just gets built undisturbed, how.
Yeah.
But now we see Goku not doing a lot of damage because he was denying the gold earlier, but now we have Fire securing 2 gold mines again. I mean, he got rid of 2 stables and the barracks, but that isn't the biggest deal at this stage of the game, as we see so much more villages, 35 more for Fire.
Goku just found that castle though after losing a camel to it.
And Fire also seems to be clicking up to Imp right now. There you have it. Let me check for Goku. Still, again, quite far away. And we can see Fire swapping into Mangudai from here on. And that will be quite reasonable versus both the Camels and the Expos. But GoKu seems to be heading for the south gold, so it's really good for Fire to actually have this additional gold over there as well. I'm quickly rewalling this. And it seems like he will be moving some more villages to this gold, maybe getting on wood. Maybe he can sustain his eco a little bit with a market. He's getting another castle up. I can only see Fire going one way from here on, and that is just the Mangudai. And he's indeed getting Botkin arrows. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Mangudai. Just a village difference again. I mean, Fire has been sitting on 40C, so that explains the village difference, but a bit, that is. But also being up to him so much earlier. And there we have it once again. Goku being up to Imp, but quite a bit later. Goku not sitting at any castle, so he will be unable to get any Mangudai out of his own.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Goku might struggle from there on, as Mangudai is simply really strong units, especially that is if Fire is actually able to get the gold in to produce them. But with Goku's army now being in the south, I think this might be a nice opportunity for Fire to actually get his main gold spots back.
Yeah, I would put a castle right up there.
Yeah, but he spent most of his stone right now, so he won't be able to do now. But later on, it might be good to do so, especially as Goku doesn't seem to pay too much attention to it, as it seems like Fire just gave up on the spot.
Oh, Fire now killing stone miners in front of Goku's base. The Mangudai there.
Yeah.
And look at that, stealing all of Goku's gold right there. Fully surrounded by villagers.
And the best thing is, as soon as he gets pushed back, he can rely on his main goals. And what we spoke about earlier, we indeed see the Castle of Fire being dropped on his main gold and the additional gold. So Fire seems to be in a really good spot from here on.
Oh, but look at Goku. Is he going to drop one on the even bigger
Oh, yeah, he is. And as he's going to hit the Imp soon, and having the hill advantage, that might be very important for Goku, even though if he was a bit early, he might even have been able to deny the castle. I'm just really glad, by the way, that Goku didn't send just one fill.
Yeah. Oh, but move your villas to the other side of the castle.
Yeah, he lost two there. But for now, at least he has access to his goal. He's gonna need the trebuchets out, but he might struggle a little bit in the long run. As soon as both players get a reasonable amount out, there's an obvious advantage for Goku.
Yeah,
but there isn't any siege workshops either. Oh, but Fire is on 2 castles indeed, so he will be able to produce double the trebuchets. And we can see Goku is like, hey, you're taking my gold, I'll take your gold, but...
Fable coming down from Goku, and in that, he's making Cap Ram with 2 rams, and that Siege Workshop right next to it.
Yeah, indeed, we saw the Cap Ram being resurged. So, obviously he wants to add a bit more siege. And that's obviously going to be a bit cheaper considering the gold, which might be very important in the long run.
But
yeah, still, look at the villager difference. 50 more for Fire. And the castle of Goku going down. Rest in peace. This is looking really bad for Goku. Less eco, no castles to produce the Mangudai, unable to apply pressure.
Elite Mangudai also got one for Fire. With 4 trebuchets.
And once again we see Fire being on the offensive position, getting the raiding in, even more damage being dealt, villager difference increasing, and that's going to be the game. That means Fire will be taking this 3-2-0. And we can just see Fire being really cost effective, has been avoiding most of the expose, really the better eco. In every game we've seen Fire having just a way better eco. And what? Ah, okay. And the villager high, the castles. Really well played by Fire, constantly being the aggressor, dealing so much damage with harassing. Even when there was pressure on him he knew with the immobility of the Expos, he knew where he could hit Goku. I feel like Goku might have been better off having some camels in the back or anything like it, but then obviously his Expos will be vulnerable. It's really hard. Even though Goku had such a strong army composition at one point, Fire just created the pace of the game. He decided who was going to be the aggressor, who was the defender, and who's going to be the one dealing the damage.
Yep. Decisive win. All 3 for Fire.
Yeah, indeed. So that indeed is 3-0 for Fire.